Cinderella, a perfect party. Cinderella and her prince sat before a roaring fire. It was the beginning of the holiday season, and Cinderella was excited. "Let's throw a party," she suggested to the prince. "What a splendid idea," he replied. "How can I help?" "Just leave everything to me," said Cinderella. Soon the royal scribes arrived to pen the invitations. "Thank you, but I'm going to ask everyone in person," Cinderella said, and sent the scribes away. The next day the princess began to decorate. "May we help, Cinderella?" asked Jack, who had arrived with Gus. "Why, of course," she replied. "Let's start with the grand staircase." The mice tied a few bows. Suddenly a spool of ribbon began to unwind, and Gus went rolling down the banister. He didn't mind. It was just like a sleigh ride, just without the sleigh. Cinderella and her mice friends decorated all the large rooms in the castle. Jack and Gus helped the princess put up every evergreen ball in the ballroom and over the doorways. Lastly, Cinderella hung stockings by the fireplace, with a little help from Gus. The only place left to decorate was the stone patio where Cinderella planned to hold her party. "Won't our guests be chilly out here?" the prince asked. "I'm sure it will be fine," Cinderella replied. "Besides, what could be more magical than celebrating under the stars?" "I like stars. They're twinkly," said Gus as he nibbled on the popcorn garland. "Gus," scolded Jack. "You're supposed to be hanging decorations, not eating them." Later, Cinderella went to the royal sewing room. When Prudence, the head of a household staff, peeked in, she saw the princess sewing. "Why don't you ask the royal seamstress to do that?" suggested Prudence. "I'm making presents for our guests," said Cinderella. Christmas Eve finally arrived. The royal chef asked what he should cook. "Not a thing," Cinderella replied. Later Prudence saw her in the storeroom filling baskets with fruit, ears of corn, and different kinds of cheese. Back on the patio, Cinderella laid out the food. She said, "something missing, but what?" Suddenly Cinderella's fairy godmother appeared. My dear, you need a centerpiece." She waved her magic wand, and the water pitcher turned into an ice sculpture. "Now everything is perfect for our holiday picnic," Cinderella exclaimed. The fairy godmother looked at the unusual selection of food. She didn't have the heart to tell Cinderella such of a menu would never do for a royal party. After Cinderella left to change her gown, the fairy godmother slipped into the banquet room. "Bittity-bottity-bo," she said, waving her wand. "Only an elegant party will do." Instantly, an elaborate feast appeared. She waved her wand twice more. The court musicians stood ready to play, and there was even an ice sculpture. "Now, that's better," the fairy godmother said. Cinderella opened the patio doors. "Merry Christmas!" A chorus of chirps, barks, and whinings answered her. All of Cinderella's animal friends had gathered for her party. "Happy Christmas, Cinderella!" Gus shouted. "Merry Christmas, Jack!" corrected. Cinderella's animal friends ate, and then it was time for presents. There were new field bags, cozy blankets, and stylish mouse-sized outfits. Jack loved his new jacket so much that he wouldn't stop looking at his reflection. Later, the prince and Cinderella danced underneath the stars. When they stopped, they realized they were alone. "Oh my, look!" cried Cinderella. Their animal friends had gone inside and were with the staff. Delighted that everyone was getting along, Cinderella and the prince joined them. It was the most unusual Christmas celebration the kingdom had ever seen, and the merriest. The end.